So it's time to start looking at new wheels and tires for the 2025 Jeep Gladiator. I want something with a little more wheel poke. I want them to come out from the fender wells a little bit. And I want something a little bit smaller as far as the wheels themselves go. Right now on the truck, we have a 275 55 R20. You guys can see right here. And frankly, I don't know why they're putting 20-inch wheels on a Jeep Gladiator. To me, it's absurd. I mean, all you do is reduce the tread wall, if you will, and you get a rougher ride, a firmer ride. I mean, look at all of the distance in between the inner part of the wheel there and the brake itself. Not a bad thing necessarily, because I suppose if you're out in mud and stuff, you want more distance so you don't cake as much against the brakes. But then again, it's just going to continue to pile up in there and cake against the brakes anyway. So I'm not really sure why Jeep is doing this other than to change the look of the truck. So there are a couple of different sizes that I'm looking at, and I'm kind of using the Tacoma as a gauge, I guess, as far as the size of the wheels and the tires. Right now on the Tacoma, we have a 285 65 R18. So we have an 18-inch wheel and a 285 65 tire. Not a bad look for the truck. I do have a +1 offset on the wheels, so that's what gives me the poke on the Toyota Tacoma. Now, to get a bit of wheel poke on the Jeep Gladiator, I think we need something like right around a +10 or +12, something like that offset. And what that'll do is bring these tires out, maybe 2-3 inches, something like that, at least for appearance sake. Maybe a little bit more, because when we look at the Tacoma, I mean, it looks, I guess, like it's about 3-4 inches out, something like that. So what are my options for what I want? You know, I'm not looking for some big giant tire. I don't really want to have to haul around all that weight, right? So I've done some calculations, I suppose, and here's what I've come up with. Again, what we're running right now is a 275 55 R20. I looked at a 285 70 R17 or R18. I guess an R17 and an R18. So for the R18s, what do we get? Well, we get a tire width-wise that's 33.7 inches as compared to 31.9. That's the height, I should say. Now, the difference between the two is 1.8 inches. So it's 1.8 inches bigger in diameter overall. To calculate what that means as far as height goes, you have to divide it by 2 because it's a circle, right? So that would give me a stance that is 0.9 inches taller than what I currently have. So it would be about an inch up in the air more than it is right now, and that would be a good look. It's an easy way, I think, to get a little bit of a lift without actually doing anything with the suspension. Almost an inch, a tenth of an inch more than what we have right now. As far as width-wise, no matter what size I go with, I think it's going to be about 0.2 inches or 0.4 inches, I should say, wider. Divide that by 2 for appearance. Again, you have both sides. It's 0.2 inches. It's negligible. 0.2 of an inch, it's really nothing. I don't know that you'd even see that difference, right? What about speed? What is it going to do to my speedometer? Well, with an R17, or 18 rather, we're going to be about 3.4 miles per hour off. In other words, when I'm going 60 miles an hour, or at least the speedometer is reading 60 miles an hour, I'm really traveling at 63.4. So I'm 3.4 miles per hour faster than what the speedometer shows. At 80 miles an hour, I'm 4.5 miles per hour faster than what the speedometer shows. Or otherwise, instead of going 80, I'm really going 84.5. Is that a big deal? I don't know if that's a huge deal or not. The other size I'm thinking is a 285/70R17. So a little bit smaller wheel, again, to give me more tread wall for a smoother ride, a softer ride, I suppose. And looking at that and comparing the same sizes or numbers, I suppose, the height of the tire or the tallness of the tire, again, it's still 31.9 comparing it to what I currently have, but the new setup would be 32.7 or 0.8 inches, I should say, 0.8 of an inch taller if I go with a 17. That means it's going to give me 0.4 inches because, again, you have to divide by 2. So 1/10 of an inch less than 1/2 an inch height rise. Not something I think you're really going to notice at all. Now, as far as the width goes, it's the same. Again, it'd be 0.2 inches wider. Speedometer-wise, it gets a little bit better. At 60 miles an hour, I would really be going 61.5. Again, as comparing what the speedometer shows and actual speed, or 1.5 miles per hour faster than it shows. At 80, I would be going at 2 miles an hour faster, or really moving at 82 miles an hour. Now, is that a big deal? You just have to be aware. I mean, I don't know that you're going to get in trouble for going even as high as maybe 4.5 miles an hour at 80, but let's be honest, unless you're, I don't know, on the freeway or making some long distance trip, are you really going to be traveling 80 miles an hour anyway? Yeah, probably not, I don't think. The other thing of concern, there's two things really. One is the weight of the tire. Obviously, the more weight you add to the vehicle, the worse the fuel economy is going to be, and you're going to rob it of a little bit more power because it's got to get that weight moving, right? I don't know if that really makes a big deal though, honestly. The spare tire, right now underneath the Jeep, it's a 17-inch. I would be closer, at least in wheel size, by going with an 18 or a 17 obviously would be the same, to match up with what I have. Not really my main driver in considering this. I think what I would do is just leave the spare alone, even though it's not the right size, just to be able to limp in to a shop somewhere should I ever have any kind of a problem with a tire. So the big question is, do I go with a 285/70R17 or do I go with a 285/70R18? I really do like the idea, I guess, of having that extra lift by raising the truck up a little bit because of the different tire size. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. What are you guys going with? And I'm really talking about without lifting the truck. I am not going to lift the truck. So what fits under there that doesn't rob the truck of a lot of power and doesn't require a lift? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.